Chapter 27. The Necessity of a Guru. Since the necessity of a guru has already been established, one should not harbor the misconception that everything can be acquired solely through books. Our sages have intentionally composed the esoteric scriptures in a manner containing gaps, discontinuities, or altered syllables. The intent of these sages is that a Sadguru, one who is truly wise, should thoroughly discern the virtues and flaws of a disciple and impart the specific scriptural teachings best suited to that individual. Furthermore, the correct pronunciation of mantras must be learned directly from a guru in person. If the pronunciation is flawed, the intended outcome will be distorted or adverse. Point 2. An illustration of the aforementioned discontinuity or hidden instruction. In esoteric yoga treatises, there exists a specific caution stating that one must not allow the upper and lower teeth to touch during practice. This specific instruction is absent from the general yoga texts that are widely available. Unaware of this nuance, many individuals read books, practice yoga while clenching their teeth, and, upon suffering adverse consequences, abandon the practice entirely, concluding that yoga itself is inherently harmful. Point 3. As previously mentioned in Chapter 24, the gross or stula and subtle or sukshma constitutions of every individual are unique, much like their facial features or fingerprints. Consequently, a Sadguru thoroughly comprehends the specific constitution of each disciple and imparts instructions that are precisely tailored to that individual. The adage, "When the disciple is ready, the guru appears of his own accord," is a truth empirically validated by the personal experiences of all devotees. Traversing both the gross and subtle planes of existence, much like a mother nursing her infant, the sages actively seek out the disciple and with immense solicitude provide the spiritual sustenance appropriate for them. As an illustrative example, in the book Spirit Teachings by M.A. Oxon, one can observe how Imperator, an exalted guru operating from the subtle planes, imparted teachings to the author of the book with extraordinary diligence and effort. One may also consider the personal account of how I myself acquired a specialized technique of Viparita Karani, a rare privilege granted to me through the grace of an enlightened sage who had attained mastery in the practice. Nila Pirati, a figure associated with the Kailasa tradition, has highlighted the significance of the guru's watchful supervision even after a practitioner has attained the state of nishta, deep meditative absorption. If this state of nishta is abruptly interrupted, it can lead to severe distress and may even result in physical illness. To mitigate such risks, specific remedial procedures are employed, either with the assistance of a companion or through one's own efforts. The practitioner gently massages the head and forehead regions, stretches and flexes the limbs, and, often with the help of another person, gently taps the shoulders using a heavy staff. 5. As an illustration of the profound power of a guru, I may recount an incident that occurred in 1928. Near Shimla, in the town of Solan, I had the privilege of receiving the darshan, sacred sight, of a great sage known as Shogi Maharaj. I had approached him with a specific resolve in my heart to learn a particular yogic technique. As was his custom, he initially rebuffed me, repeatedly commanding, "Go away, leave." However, observing my steadfast devotion as I stood there in humble reverence, he perceived the nature of my request. He then graciously took a small amount of sacred ash, bhasma, from his ritual fire, handed it to me, and declared, "Through the power of this sacred offering, prasad, your wish shall be fulfilled. Now go." I placed that sacred ash in a box and subsequently forgot about it. A year later, while relocating to a different town, I stumbled upon the sacred ash within the box. I took a small pinch and applied it to my forehead. To my utter astonishment, on that very day, circumstances unfolded in such a way that I was able to fully master the specific yogic technique I had sought to learn. 6. At the time I encountered him, Shogi Maharaj appeared to be no older than 9 years of age. The villagers recounted that he remained exactly as he was, unchanged, even during the childhood of their own grandfathers. They claimed that he lived for 300 years, and that, with the passing of every century, a new row of teeth would sprout. However, when I saw him, he did not possess many teeth. He passed away in the year 1934. 7. The phenomenon wherein a disciple attains spiritual enlightenment solely through the Guru's touch or mere presence was described in the 24th chapter. One may recognize this very nature as the unique power of Sri Dakshinamurthi's silent exposition. In esoteric scriptures, various methods by which a guru instantly bestows wisdom upon a disciple, such as through touch, the transmission of vital energy, instruction, and a spiritual gaze, have been